Hello everyone, I am Brett the Comic Novice. Welcome to my channel. This video is dedicated to DC Comics August 2025 solicitations. And any thoughts, questions, or whatnot, please feel free to leave them in the YouTube video down below. You can like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, or just, flat out ignore it. Uh, anyway, so this comes from the website, the Batman Universe. I did not want to give the other website that had the solicitations any traction because I do not like them. And well, it's not that I don't like them. I just feel as though their website is kind of not well. So this comes from, again, the Batman Universe. We have DC Comics solicitations for August 2025 includes the conclusion. I think there's going to be lots of conclusions in this month. I'm still a little bit behind in my comic reading, but especially for DC, which is most of my pull list. But I do have Marvel here and there, but I feel as though there is a lot that are going to be coming to an end in August. Starting off here, we have the highlights include an oversized Catwoman issue number 78. Now, which is interesting because with the All In initiative, we just barely started with the Torn Grumbeck with number 69, I believe it was. For, everybody chuckle at that number. But it barely even lasted 10 issues. So, a 10 issue maxi series or something like that. And then Detective Comics is having their 1100th issue. So I'm going to just brace myself, stay tuned for, 70 different covers. Actually, no, I take that back. They're going to do a huge one for 1127. That's probably going to be what they're going to do. And then Batman is concluding their Hush 2 arc. I have the first 3 issues. I've yet to crack them open. I also am sheepish to say that I've yet to fully complete the original Hush storyline. So yeah, there's that. So 163 at the top of Batman Universe page. I hope this is all of the DC comic stuff, because if not, I'll have to go to another website. And when did they start doing that? H2SH. So concludes the Hush Part 2, this is Hush Part 1 in 163, right? Okay. Sure. Will the Batman survive Hush's revenge when his only allies are his greatest enemies? Okay. I guess next, I'm just gonna scrub through just real quickly, just make sure. Okay, it looks like we have more than just Batman stuff because, oh, that was gonna be scary. So we have next on our list, we still have the Absolute Bane on the cover of Absolute Batman number 11. Interesting that the cover is done by Nick Dragotta, but Clay Mann, who did, I think, is known for working with Tom King, and I believe it was him and Tom King that were on the, what was it? The Crisis book that destroyed Wally West. And a lot of people's enjoyment of, the Rebirth era. But we got Clay Mann, who is going to be interesting to see how long he's going to be on this, because this is the third time in Absolute Batman that we've had a guest artist. Nick Dragotta was the main pull, and then we had, I believe, at least a 2-part series that was a guest artist. I can't remember if it was Carmen DiGimenico, but I believe there has been 2 or maybe 3 different guest artists on Absolute Batman. So this is kind of interesting. I'm gonna be curious to see how long some of these Absolute Universe stuff lasts. I'm curious because they're pulling in, according to some people that've gone over the numbers, they're pulling in the numbers, but do they have the stride to keep going? Especially because of, from what I've heard from people's thoughts and opinions about the New 52. The first year or so was very well put together, and then things started really falling apart. Chris Mooningham, 1 in 50. I wonder if they have what that looks like, because his covers for G.I. Joe, or his art for G.I. Joe, The Real American Hero, are fantastic. Let's see. Is that Mooningham? Okay. Anyway. And then we have the Immortal Legend Batman #1. That's new to me. Okay, that looks like Dan Mora's cover. So I'm going to guess. Oh, there he is. Dan Mora's cover right there. And what is this? Humanity broke the barrier between the universes, and our universe's shadow. From the void came a horrific apparitions that craved nothing but destruction. From this terror, a legend was born, a warrior who found a way to access energy that binds our universe and the shadow universe, transforming him into a cosmic knight. This immortal... That's not a good sound. All right, well, something fell in my podcasting room. Anyway, this immortal legend was named Batman. He fought to keep us safe, but then one day he abandoned the war. All right. So it sounds like this is going to be an Elseworld. And this is Kyle Higgins, who I did like Kyle Higgins's, what I read of his run for the New 52 Nightwing. And he's obviously done a bunch of his own massive verse for Image Comics, or that he's working with Image Comics. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. I don't see that this is a 1 of 6. I'm going to guess it's going to be 1 of 6. I don't know. I'm not thinking that this is going to be an ongoing series. Art by Erica DeRosso and Dan Mora. Okay. All right, what else we got? We got Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, #3, written by Tom King. Yet to pick up a single one of these. It looks like they're trying to connect to a very famous, I believe, George Perez cover for Trinity. The interesting thing about Trinity is she was built up so big for issue 800 of Wonder Woman, first appearance and whatnot. And then, you have these backup stories for the little first part of the Tom King and Daniel Sampere Wonder Woman series. And then they would release it in, all of those issues combined into one. And now we have this, which is a 6-issue miniseries. I think that there's a lot of things going on, and I think much like Wonder Girl or Wonder Woman from the future state, I think that there's going to be some disappointment that's going to be met with Trinity. But who knows? I might be wrong. Justice League #10, written by Mark Waid. Art and cover by Dan Mora. The Quantum Quorum of Time Travel Refugees has issued a warning to the Justice League. Apocalypse is coming. All right. That sounds interesting. I need to get back on the wagon for Justice League Unlimited. I did kind of sit a little bit out, wondering if I was going to continue on with Mark Waid, wondering if the election just fried his brain. So far, with the amount of work that he is, doing at DC, I feel as though hopefully somebody would, be able to see, shoddy work and be able to prevent it from going on. Also, I really like that this book is $3.99. I really do. I think that's it's good to still see Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla Part 2, book #3. Sure, I'm just gonna pass on that. The Detective Comics 1100, written by Tom Taylor, Greg Rucka, and Mariko Tamaki. So we got and Dan Waters. Art by Mikhail Yanin, the guy who does the Nice House on the Lake. This person who I'm going to butcher their name, who did the Green Arrow Absolute Power tie-in series, and then Bill Sienkiewicz. So you know what? 2 out of 4 writers I was able to pronounce, so that's something. In March 1937, a comic book was published. Now, blah, blah, blah. Tom Taylor, Mikhail Yanin, join forces once again to tell a heartfelt action. So it's going to be a one shot, it sounds like. Greg Rucka and Bueno team up for a tale that asks the question, was Gotham better before or Batman? That's an interesting question. Mariko Tamaki reunites with Detective Comics collaborator, that person, for a yarn and explores Bruce Wayne's world outside of the cowl. Okay, well. And then Dan Waters and legendary artist Bill Sienkiewicz brings a storytelling story that illustrates just how similar Batman's motives are to the criminals that he's sworn to fight. Interesting. Interesting. I'm curious if this one almost seems to be completely skippable. It doesn't sound like Tom Taylor's continuing story is going to be one that is picked up within the pages of Detective Comics 1100. Let's see, how many variants do we have? We have the main one by Mikhail Yannon, Jock, Frank Miller, Bill Sienkiewicz, Bruno Redondo Spotlight. We have the 1 in 25. Where's the 1 in 1,000 one that they're going to be doing? Where's the, they're going to do some sort of cute thing or something like that. It'd be interesting. Nightwing 129, Dan Waters, art by Dexter Choi. Nightwing must overcome the creature that has taken over Titan's Tower. Ooh, I wonder if it's an alien. Be fun crossover between, even though I know that Marvel slash Disney owns Alien, the Alien franchise, but but trapped in time warps and bad dreams, those who escape may be changed forever. Fantastic. Changed into what? Probably Rick Grayson. All right, Batgirl number 10. I have not picked up a single issue of this. The only one that I wish that I would have picked up was, and I'm not saying that it's not any good, but the Art Germ, Stanley Art Germ's number 1 for the Batgirl issue number 1. I just barely picked up the DC Finest Batgirl, which has Cassandra Cain's stories, and I'm very excited to dive into that book. Batman and Robin, number 24 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. I decided to jump off of this one, and now I might be regretting it a tad bit because we have the monstrous Memento. It looks like, so the Memento storyline comes to a thunderous conclusion in this one. Miguel Mendonca, which I've appreciated his art a little bit more than Javi Fernandez. I believe that's who was on the other one. Yeah, right there, cover, Javi Fernandez. But it'll be interesting. I've heard some rumors that they're going to redo the creative team is going to stay the same. They're going to do a number 1. I wouldn't mind that. I jumped off of this just because, when you bring in Edgerton, I'm not huge into magic and especially rhyming demon monsters, but yeah. And I know it was probably just for one story, but that is my problem. Batman, Superman, World Finest 42. This book has been going on since 2002 or 2022. Sorry, my bad. Mark Waid and Adrian Gutierrez on the art. Dan Mora is just on the cover. And this is Escape from Bizarro World continues. I bet you it's a bizarre escape. Yeah, thank you. I'll be here all day. Catwoman 78, written by Torun Grumbeck. I will tell you, issue number 1 from Torun Grumbeck's All In initiative, I really got behind. And then by issue number 2, which was 70, I really got off on. No, that sounds horrible. Never mind. Don't incur. No, nope. That's not what I meant. That is not what I meant. I wanted to stop reading Catwoman at issue 70. I decided to try to give it a couple more, and I've yet to come back for it. So it says this has all been leading up to this. Selina is finally face to face with a mysterious enemy trying to bury her 6 feet under. Will the feline femme fatale find a way out? Do appreciate a good alliteration out of this predicament, or is it curtains calls for the cat criminal? Find out in the special oversized issue. So $4.99. So they're going to be cramming 2 probably comics into 1 and then shortening it just by a tad. Birds of Prey 24. I saw on a thread somewhere that some people think that Birds of Prey might be ending quite soon. Be interesting to find out if that actually is. I didn't mind the first issue, the first story arc. The second story arc, that was my jumping off point for Birds of Prey. It might be good. I will go back to it because I do have DC Infinite Universe app that I will don't mind, the yearly fee. Um, Harley Quinn 53. I have not read a single issue of Harley Quinn ever. So why start today? Poison Ivy 35, written by G. Willow Wilson. This series is hugely loved and appreciated. I tried to read it. I just didn't find it interesting. Titans 26 by John Layman and Max Rayner. I'm liking that Max Rayner is coming back. I believe he did some of the art in the Justice League, not Justice League Dark, the one with Darkseid, the Galaxy one, with Cyborg that led to, which ended just about the same time as Dark Knight's Death Metal. I can't think of what it was called, but I believe he was doing some of the art on those books, and I believe I really appreciated some of those arts. It's interesting because Pete Woods was the artist that was the pull to get people in, and just like the Absolute Batman, we are kind of not there. The New History of DC. I don't think I've picked up a single one of these. Interesting. We have writer Mark Waid, art by Doug Mahnke. I'd love to see more of his art be featured in some of these books. It'll be interesting to see if, because he is not as, he could be around retirement era. I'm gonna say in his like late 50s. I think Dan Jurgens, who again does a lot of writing, and I would hope that Mark Waid consulted both of these two gentlemen to fix or create this new history of the DC universe. So it looks like we have, following the cataclysmic events on Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC universe has changed forever. Okay, I'll be interesting to read that. I'm just not going to read that synopsis because I think it's quite interesting. Robin and Batman, Jason Todd #3. This is a 3-issue limited series by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. I have not read the initial one. Maybe they'll collect this in some sort of oversized deluxe one. Batman and Robin Year 1, issue number 10 of 12. This is Mark Waid and Chris Samney. Chris Samney's on art. Again, have not read this. One of these days I will get around to probably checking it out on the app. Batman Dark Patterns number 9, Dan Waters, Hayden Sherman. Interesting. I wonder if this series was done way in advance before Absolute Wonder Woman, because I know Hayden Sherman has been on and off a couple times, at least once, and the art was a remarkable improvement on that. But be interesting to see, yeah, or just if this was written well before Absolute Wonder Woman came out, or if he's doing double duty right here. Batman: The Long Halloween, issue number 9, even longer. Jeff Loeb, Chris Samney. All right. And then we have Gotham by Gaslight, gaslighting the Justice League yet again. Or a League for Justice number 2, Andy Diggle right there. Art and cover by Leonard Fernandez. Okay. And then we have DC versus Vampires, World War V or 5. I'm going to go with V. Number 12, Matthew Rosenberg. He used to, what was it, 2022, he was writing at least 3 DC comics a month with the Wildcats, this one, and I think he had backup stories in Brave and the Bold, and now he is only on DC versus Vampires, taking over for James Tynion's original idea before he went off and started doing his own creator-owned stuff and whatnot. So I've not completely. I've been reading this series on the app. It's good, but I'm waiting to be let down, just like I was let down at the end of the first one. This is a Detective Comics 880 facsimile reprint. This is a very well-known and popular cover. I think, you know what, I would not mind getting this. I'm curious if I'm considering picking it up on the foil variant. That'd be kind of interesting, especially since, at least before my local comic book shop moved, they would mark up these foil variants like, 100%, sometimes, almost 200%. And I was getting them through, and then when I realized what they were doing, I would get them through DCBS DCBS was not doing any discount on them. They were just selling them for cover price, which I appreciated. And then we have Batman Harley Quinn facsimile. I know it's a popular cover. I'm not going to get that. Batman 169, the gigantic special. Teen Titans, sure, why not? K, Challengers of the Unknown. K, Two-Face. It's out on trade. We have The Long Halloween, which is now a compact edition. This one's interesting right here. Birds of Prey by Gail Simone. Omnibus number 1. DC has basically spent the past almost 2 years printing and then reprinting these in trade. And now they are releasing all of these on Omnibus. And I think I'm more apt to just wait this series out for DC Finest. Might be 10 years from now. Not on the channel. Oh, crap. All right. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to go to Bleeding Cool. All right. So we are on Bleeding Cool now. And this is going to be, I'm going to be skipping around here or there because the Batman universe, I guess I won't use that site again. I should have probably looked at ahead of time, but I just wanted to make sure that I, reacted in real time. Anyway, we have Absolute Superman number 10. Still the same creative team, Jason Aaron, Rafael Sandoval. I'm constantly on the fence of whether to continue with that one. Absolute Wonder Woman number 11 by Hayden Sherman and Kelly Thompson. It's interesting. Derek Chu's art right there. I don't know if it works with the Absolute Wonder Woman look. Anyway, Absolute Green Lantern number 5. I feel as though Al Ewing, or at least in the synopsis, just tries to give as little as possible. The remains of Evergreen are scavenged for clues as what happened to this quaint small town. Meanwhile, Joe faces down on the hulking threat of Hal Jordan. So is Hal Jordan going evil? Has he gone evil? I know I've only gotten through issue number 1, but it's going to be, I don't know. As somebody who's kind of looking for reasons to drop certain books, I'm curious if this one's going to give me one. Absolute Flash. I want to like this one. I'm missing reading The Flash on a monthly basis, but Cy Spurrier kind of prevents that from happening. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. This one should have capped off the 6-issue mini, but they decided to make it into a maxi. This one is very well liked on League of Comic Geek. I started reading the first bits of issue number 1, not too bad, and then it just got weird. And then I just kind of walked away from it. All right, the Immortal Legend of that. Okay, Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. W. Maxwell Prince is the guy that does the Ice Cream Man, I believe. And this is a series 1 through 5. And okay, so it's a black label. Okay. I love Superman. I don't know what I feel about this. I'm going to have to sit and think about this series because I don't want a massively super dark Superman story because Superman is one of my favorite characters. I love the hope that Superman brings. All right. Well, I'll have to weigh out. I have about a month to do that. Justice League Red. Salamine Ahmed, who's currently doing the Daredevil for Marvel, and Clayton Henry. Clayton Henry makes this almost an easy out for me. Not the biggest fan of his art. Yeah. Justice League has a new special ops team so covert that they don't even realize that they're on the team, or the founders can't know its existence. And its leader is the only hero who could keep the JLR off the radar. So it's Red Tornado, right? Anyway. Okay. Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League. by Greg Rucka and art by Nicola Scott. Let's see. I hope this is a 6-issue mini or something like that. I don't know. Not sure about what to think about that one. Detective Comics, we've already gone over that one. Then we have The Resurrection Man. I haven't even read that one yet. Download it to my app, though. So, that downloading is half the battle. Joshua Williamson on Superman 29. Dan Moore on cover and art. That is a good combination right there. Do love Superman. Action Comics 1089. Again, I'm so thinking about dropping this Action Comics completely because we're just delving into past stories. And even though Mark Waid is doing stuff and doing the new history of the DC universe, I'm not sure I'm very skeptical. I do like that Negative Space Ryan Sook cover though. And I also do kind of like that main cover by Skylar Partridge, but I need to think. I have all action dating back all the way through the last 2 years before New 52, through New 52 up to present. Am I going to let this one lapse? That's what I have to add. Superman Unlimited, Dan Slott, Raphael Albuquerque, and we have, was it Superman Man-Bat? Okay. What does it say? Now that Superboy has made his Metropolis debut, a hero from the past reemerges to take him down. That's what they need. Oh, that's Action Comics right there. Okay. Superman Unlimited. So what is this? We have Superman Man-Bat? Superman Bat. Okay. Sure. Guest starring the Birds of Prey. Okay, so they all die in this episode and then it closes off the series. Okay. Supergirl number 4 by Sophie Campbell. Again, the Art Germ variants I wanted to pick up and continuing. I don't know how well this is, and just knowing some people's opinions that I do believe in, there's skepticism revolving around her Transformers or Ninja Turtles writing. I don't know. Makes me want to just kind of stay in clear. Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton by Ryan North. I'll read that on the app. That doesn't sound like something that needs to be on the pull list. Wonder Woman 24, Daniel Samperi, however you pronounce it. Haven't read that since probably about issue 4. I just got tired of Wonder Woman from Tom King. Not tired of Wonder Woman, but just Wonder Woman by Tom King. Then okay, we've already gotten that one. Nightwing, already talked about that one. Batgirl, okay. All right, and then, so now we're on Aquaman number 8 right now. Jeremy Adams, automatic pull. I mean, enough said. I believe strongly in what Jeremy Adams is doing. I've appreciated all he's done on the 1 Minute War for The Flash. I really, truly love what he's done so far with Green Lantern and with Aquaman. So yeah, automatic pull. New Gods. I got through the first 5 issues. I think I'm just going to be reading this on the app and just wait out, maybe trade wait or whatnot. The Flash. Can we finally say that this is the last of Flash? With Eclipso and the Rogue surging across the surface of the moon, Eclipso shifts the Earth into further darkness as Jay West and the Flash find their dog, Foxy. They have a dog? Is that... okay. But will one of the temp Flashes destroy the Flash family's quest to turn the tide? Why does it not say in this final thrilling concluding issue? Okay. Green Arrow 27. I almost fell out of Green Arrow, and I've started rereading the Chris Condon, and I think it has me. I think I'm going to be... staying with Green Arrow for a while. It's going to be interesting. This is end of part 6 of Where is Roy Harper? Be kind of curious to see if that is the conclusion of this run, and or they decide to, oh, look at that, connecting covers for Green Lantern Corps. Anyway, who's doing that? V. Ken Marion. Oh man, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah. I distracted myself. Teen Titans already got there. Mr. Terrific Year 1, number 4. Again, that's going to be a trade wait for that. Again, JSA, I ended around issue 5. I'll just DC Infinite Universe that sucker. Um, it just was so slow, and maybe it's picked up, but so slow. All right, so now we've gotten to the collected editions for the that are being announced or pre-ordered for August of 2025. The Justice League: The Atom Project. It read issue number 1. Felt as though it will do a good job of explaining what the heck happened with everybody's superpowers in the Absolute Power uh, series that I practically sat out all of, and then just read issue number 4 to get kind of caught up, and then just went back to the whole thing. It might make sense of further activities. Who's to say? Challenge of the Unknown did not pick it up, so I actually cannot comment on it. Metamorpho, the Element Man, I feel as though I sat this one out just because I felt as though it was just a series to hype people up more for the Superman movie. Oddly, I think it should have come out around the time that Superman movie does come out, so around July. So this trade is only going to be available in September of 2025. So I think that's an odd thing to do. Two-Face, didn't even know that was a series. Now, DC Finest. This is what I'm very excited for. The start of Peter David's Supergirl run. I started reading some of it. I started collecting the actual physical issues of it, and this is what I'm really excited for. It's odd that it's not going to be done on an omnibus because I've heard so many people want, or at least the people that I follow, cry for this. But you know what? I'm all in, as DC would say, on this Peter David Supergirl series. Static Shock. I'm not sure about that one. I'll have to think about that. Then we have Crisis on Infinite Earth, the Absolute Edition. I have the deluxe edition. I think I'm good with that. And I've already mentioned A Birds of Prey. We have the Green Lantern by Robert Venditti. This collects the New 52. Be interesting to see if they what they also collect, because I did like the Green Lantern core book as well as the new Green Lantern New Guardians. Okay, so they do have some crossovers with there, and also the Red Lantern stories. So, and I do have all of these in trade, but maybe it might look. And then this is volume 1, so I'm curious if volume 2, what is it going to consist of? Because if we look right here, it's going Green Lantern, featuring Green Lantern. Okay, so I believe Green Lantern goes all the way to 52 or so. So that'd be volume 2. And then it'd be interesting to see if they do Green Lantern by Robin Venditti for the Hal and Pals series. Spectre by John Ostrander. I've never read a Spectre series, so I'm not going to go all in. This one right here, I saw somebody tease on a Facebook group that I'm on. Jonah Hex All Stars Western. I do not like Westerns. But when I started reading the New 52, I found myself very compelled by this series. Jimmy Palmiotti did a fantastic job writing, and it made me appreciate it because I didn't get all, into all 1,064 pages of it, but I was not I was not counting on continuing reading it, and I did, and I looked forward to reading it every single month. Okay, Blue Beetle, book 3. Okay, then we have Swamp Thing, the deluxe edition. Okay, I never got into American Vampires. I've heard things, good things, bad things, but just flat out things. Interesting that they're redoing the House of Mystery Omnibus Volume 1, even though I feel as though they have released the horror anthology starting series for the DC Finest, I believe last month or so. So it's kind of an odd thing to want to do. And then I'm just going to, yeah, I believe that's it. So that is the solicitations for DC Comics for 2025. What are you considering picking up? What is on your pull list? What is on your question mark list? What is on your, I'm not even going to give it the time of day list? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up or so. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar section where most likely some of these books will be found. Thanks for watching. Bye.